mieszałki, te pukaszki, super ninja, черепашки, панцирносим, как рубашки, юные таланты, та-та!
The Soviet ninja, the deadliest weapon that the USSR was developing during the entire period of the Cold War. And I must say, we are lucky that the arms race has ended in 1992 before the USSR could unleash this beast on the other side of the Iron Curtain. We have all heard about the infamous American ninjas, Korean ninjas, Canadian ninjas, and everything in between. But the Soviet ninjas have been unfairly kept out of the spotlight for far too long. And what I mean by unfairly is that the post-Soviet era Bullshido is not worse, and in some cases even more impressive than the one of their counterparts. The ninja, the man in question, is named Sergei Trofimov, and if Mikhail Ryabko is a Soviet equivalent to George Dillman, then Sergei Trofimov is definitely the Soviet Ashida Kim, multiplied by front ducks and squared by Masaki Hatsumi. He was born in Moscow in an unknown year, since that information is highly classified and he never shares it, you see. However, it is widely speculated that it was during the Soviet times. Now, where does this wild speculation come from, you may ask? Well, the answer is actually quite simple. He never shuts the hell up about it, and he always talks about his life in all of his interviews. So I'm about to share it with you. When he was around 10 years old, the Man in Black, the top government scouts, visited his school and were so impressed by his warrior aura that they automatically offered his parents to sign him up to an elite boxing school. Apparently, he manifested such a raw talent that the government was simply baffled and could no longer allow itself to be oblivious to the existence of such man. This does sound like a classic USSR to me, since they had a very strict athletic program and dedicated a lot of resources to find the best genetic specimen that the country had to offer. So, after 4 years of hardcore training in the top academy, one of his opponents broke his nose, apparently so hard that it stopped his entire boxing career. I'm not sure about what kind of injury was that. So basically, since then he has decided to switch to karate. Unfortunately, soon after beginning, the coach of his illegal karate dojo and he himself were arrested, which again implied of the Soviet suppression policy towards the martial arts. Nah, I'm just messing with you. Of course this guy is from the Soviet Union. What, do you really think he is over 100 years old? I mean, I'm sure he would like to believe that, since his ego is off the chart, and you will see it in a moment. But judging on the things he says, I wouldn't be surprised if he was actually like 10 or 15 max. Well, you will see soon. Eventually though, he seemingly was taught karate by Alexei Shturmin, who was one of the most prominent legit Soviet karate practitioners, who during his lifetime has reached the 9th dan. But of course, being such a badass, Sergei Trofimov claims that after his karate training, he was participating in many illegal and unofficial full contact, no rules fighting tournaments all around Russia and performing really well in them. I don't want to criticize for no reason, but please take these statements with a grain of salt, because I think we have to, just a hunch. And according to him, after winning such an event, during the prize ceremony, an old Chinese man wearing traditional Chinese clothing came to him and offered him to become his student. So he was so good that he didn't have to beg his teacher to teach him, the teacher had to beg him. Damn. According to Sergei, the name of his master was Li Shengyi, who was one of the last real possessors of the art and was famed both in China and overseas alike. I could not find any legitimate proof, but Sergei Trofimov claims that he was training under him for 9 years. Yet when asked in what style was he trained or what techniques did he learn, Sergei always answers in this way.
That's classified. Technically, I don't exist. I'm not here. We're not having this briefing.
The information which I shared with you came from his first interview in the early 1990s, before the Ninja Turtles became popular in 1995. So firstly, the Hong Kong movies got popular and then the Ninja Turtles. So we'll see his gradual evolution in Bullshido as we go on. Now we'll talk about the bread and butter of any Bullshido master that is worth his salt, his military record. After being conscripted to the military service, due to his superhuman abilities at the age of 20, the Soviet army assigned him to command a special unit so clandestine that even the GRU and Wimpel would be jealous. When asked further questions about it, Sergei quickly changes the subject or simply ignores it altogether. I must admit, guys, this is very hard for me. I mean, I've dealt with no-touch masters, magicians, Chkharyok, and everything in between, but this guy, I never met such a high-level bullshitter in my life, and this guy might even surpass Frank Dux. Yes, no doubt it, no doubt. Now, here's where it gets really hilarious. After finishing his military career, his Chinese teacher took him to an unspecified Asian country to participate in, and I quote here, "бои на выживание", which can be translated as fights for survival, or in other words, oh my, bloodsport. No, I mean, why not? I mean, after everything he said so far, I mean, maybe he met Frank Dux there, maybe they duked it out, who knows. He claims that he killed many masters who gathered there from all over the world, and in the final round he had to face a Brazilian master in a fight involving weapons. The Brazilian master was wielding Chinese swords, while Sergei had his sai, because I'm pretty sure Raphael was his favorite Ninja Turtle at the time. And after that tough battle, Sergei has decided to spare his life. True gentleman. Respect. Then, right after that, since he was so strong and powerful, he was brought to South China by his teacher to meet the secret order of 32 real masters that managed to escape the culling during the Cultural Revolution.
What a story, Mark.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Since, of course, after hearing about his exploits, they all immediately started to teach him everything they knew, all the 3000 years of Chinese wisdom, to this one man, and as a result he has mastered all the animal styles and other more obscure styles, but when further inquired he simply answered with,
That's classified.
Basically, when asked more about his experience competing in a bloodsport or his trip to South China, he says that it's very painful to remember such traumatic experiences, since he had to kill so many people just to prove himself. Mentioning the details would be insulting to the legacy of the fallen. And I quote here, "A true master and a gentleman should never brag about his accomplishments." Basically, at this point, Batman is a more realistic character than this guy, but it gets worse. Much worse. And here comes the ninja part. After the information about his exploits in the Soviet Union and the southern China has reached Japan, when he was around 27 years old, he was immediately summoned there, passed all the tests, was accepted into a ninja clan and was given a ninja name, Shiroi Hoshi, which means White Star. White Star. Sounds like a name of a porn actor to me. Interestingly, the ninja information that he shared in his next interviews was from 1995 onwards, basically after the time when Ninja Turtles became a big hit in the post-Soviet countries. So yeah, it's obvious where his inspiration was coming from. But there's so much more bullshit which I cannot tell you, because to be honest, this guy has a whole mythology of bullshit. This guy can rival Frank Dux in his storytelling. He talks about sacred weapons which were passed to him, about demons and other stuff which I don't even want to get into, because I value my health. Now, let's take a look at bits of his exclusive interview. I made English subtitles for it, and trust me, it's an enlightening experience. But be warned, if you have any knowledge of martial arts, history or a strong sense of logic, you might get hurt. Be careful.
Ninjutsu, это искусство насчитывает порядка 2000 лет, представляете?
So, according to him, ninjutsu is much older than Shaolin Temple itself.
То есть я могу смело сейчас сказать, уже зная историю и всю антологию боевых искусств, что мы и являемся тем отцом, который породил все современные системы. Да, это так.
Wow, I had no idea. So, martial arts came from Japan, then went to China to form Shaolin Temple, and then spread to Southern Asia and India. Mind blown, man. Tell me more.
А расскажите, как вы участвовали в боях на выживание?
Я скажу откровенно, не очень люблю вспоминать это дело, но тем не менее, как вот это все объяснить? На эти бои по выживанию, приглашаются люди, которые уже имеют имена, да? Которые утвердились, скажем так, на бойцовском Олимпе. И вот из этой плеяды, независимо, кстати, от возраста, веса, вот, и даже квалификации пояса, если ты боец, ты боец. Ты можешь быть и с белым поясом, но крушить черных поясов. Таких тоже примеров полно в истории. Есть люди от рождения воины, бойцы, а есть люди, которых надо выращивать в качестве бойцов. Это тоже, вот, как говорится, аллегория. И тем не менее, вот выявляли таких людей, я попал в их число, нас пригласили, очень кратко объяснили условия, сражайтесь между собой, представители различных стилей. Вот, но все, казалось бы, не так просто, как хотелось бы. В определенный момент, пройдя ряд поединков, если вы побеждаете, поединки дальнейшие будут с оружием. Если вы на это согласны, то, значит, заключаем, как говорится, воинский контракт. Не согласны? До свидания.
А какие еще были там испытания в предварительном отборе?
Ну, надо было вот Темашевари сдать. После этого надо было провести 3 поединка. У меня их было 5. Это исторически подтверждено.
Of course it is, mate. I mean, I trust you, don't worry. Please continue.
Вот, и после этого я, правда, уже вышел не на 2 поединка на оружие, а у меня был 1 уже сразу финальный поединок, и моему сопернику не повезло. Вот. Это был бразильский мастер, мы до сих пор поддерживаем отношения, правда, очень редко видимся, да, очень редко видимся, но, тем не менее, мы друг друга знаем, уважаем и, как говорится, отслеживаем дальнейшую судьбу. Он тоже стал, ну, как сказать, в своей стране великим мастером боевых искусств. Вот, но ему не повезло, потому что мне по жеребьевке выпало парное оружие сай. Сай — это трезубец, вот. Это как бы буддийская ваджра, можно сказать. Саем я владел, и до сих пор, поверьте, это просто мои руки.
Phew, I really like her expression here. I mean, this face tells everything that is on my mind right now. I couldn't have done it better myself.
У него был длинный, по-моему, китайский меч, по-моему, под названием цзян. Вот это такой широколезвенный на конце меч, достаточно мощный. Но поединок был такой скоропалительный, можно сказать. В общем, я его сделал.
But there's much more bullshit which I will spare you from, because he tells her a lot of, like, absurd stuff, like how he trained the personal special forces and protectors and bodyguards of Russian president, and how all of them are in a way his children or some crap like that. And then he goes on and tells her that he's a member of an ancient noble Rus warrior family line with a bloodline older than the Romanovs by at least 400 years. And that his warrior blood is literally flowing through his veins and overflowing into the room itself. But that's where I reached my limit. Sorry guys, this interview was around 25 minutes long, and even the ladies started lagging by the end of it. Anyway, this was the infamous Soviet ninja. Your thoughts? Tell me, do you think it will be fun to see this Soviet nerd fight this American nerd? Let me know in the comments below. The next episode will be about Radabor, which is actually a legit form of Soviet рукопашный бой. So until then, remember to stay strong, stay healthy, and to never neglect knowledge. Peace out.